So, Janine, it's so brilliant that you've joined me. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited you're here because I really want to show women just where, you know, so many women are in that place that you were at before. And you just said, enough, I'm going to do this. I just want to change my life. And you really have. And I want you to describe it for me, because if people look at you now, they'll see a beautiful, confident woman. And I just want them to know this journey you've been on, because it's been, you know, what I saw a few months ago is nothing like what you're now. So why don't we just first start with describing where you are now, because you really have made your dream happen.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Where am I now? I am in a place where every day when I finish work, I can't wait to come home. I'm in my own place that I have purchased, and there's nothing to hurt me there, nothing that gets in the way. I'm relaxed. I've got some projects to build on that I never dreamt I'd be able to do, building a garden, and just being so relaxed and happy and providing a home for myself and my children. It's it's something that just seemed so remote before, and it's become reality. And it's the most wonderful feeling.
And that, after an abusive relationship, is just heaven, isn't it?
Oh, it's just chalk and cheese, night and day. It's just, it's like, before I just didn't want to go home, and I was never secure and safe in my home. Whereas now I come home and I think I'm just overwhelmed by the calm and the silence. And where it was terrifying before, it's a gift. It's lovely. And I cherish the quiet and the calm.
Let's go back to that, because when you first met me, you were pretty terrified. And I remember you thinking you were terrified of being alone. Now this being alone in your safe space and this beautiful home of yours is your heaven. But before, it was your greatest fear, wasn't it?
Oh, most definitely. I felt like I was always going to be on my own. And I think that's because I thought I deserved to be on my own. I was the cause of my situation, and I felt guilty and I felt trapped, and it was overwhelming, and I couldn't see a way out. And it was all consuming, and I could not fathom how possibly I was going to improve my life when I'd caused such heartache and so many difficulties. And it was just so overwhelming. I couldn't get out. And it was just so helpful to be taken step by step through the course to see that wasn't the case at all.
Yeah, so you made the decision. I might just change the screen so we have a different, there we go. So you made this decision to come and work with me, and you must have had some fears about that at first.
Oh, definitely.
What were
definitely.
They?
Oh, I thought I'd be found out. I thought we'd work out that I was the cause of all my problems, and my guilt would be founded, and that it would be definite that it was all my fault. And also I was afraid that my situation is so horrendous that no one would want to hear about it or know about it. And I was ashamed, deeply ashamed. And I think mainly I just didn't want to be found out. But yeah.
But then you came in and you realized that it was, you know, in part an online video program, in part one-on-ones with me holding your hand, and in part the support of a really incredible small group of women who are just like you. So when you first started it, how did you feel? What did you feel immediately relieved?
I remember when I first found you online, and I was I was overwhelmed, and I remember crying, watching your videos online and just thinking, oh my goodness, where have you been? It was finally someone understood how I was feeling and describing my feelings and saying they were okay. And yeah, I think it was just overwhelmingly relieving, I
Yeah.
guess.
And I always say that the way out of overwhelm is to take steps as your way out. And did you find that you were given those steps, and
Yes.
out of that it was very clear steps and steered?
Oh, most definitely. And each step targeted a certain area that was so relevant and so real to what I was feeling. And yeah, I just was able to just move forward and gain confidence along the way, and also to know that there are other women feeling the same, and I wasn't Robinson Crusoe in this journey of mine, and it was real, and it wasn't my fault, and this is a real problem, and there are many women like me, and we need help, and you just helped. It was perfect.
You actually had therapy before, and you just said it didn't work.
No.
So yeah, talk about that, because that was really interesting when you said that. What was different? What?
The therapy didn't really make me understand why I was feeling what I was feeling. It didn't make me understand anything regarding abusive relationships and how they worked. It really didn't target anything specific, and it didn't take any form of direction, and I just felt I didn't progress at all. I didn't feel like that my situation was relieved or addressed at all.
So what way do you think having gone through an abusive relationship and what you've been through, how much would you say, and in what way did that make a difference, do you think?
Oh, massive. I think it was it was important. It was so important, because that you had the understanding and the knowledge of what we're going through, because you'd experienced it as well. And I don't think talking to people, unless you've actually been in an abusive relationship, you don't understand the dynamics of the undercurrents of the manipulation that you're put through, or the feelings that you have, or the anguish that you feel. It's quite unique, and I think it was just it's so important to have that empathy and understanding that you had.
We do go pretty deep though, don't we? Like, we go deep, but so it's intense.
It is intense, but I think because we're all in the same situation of sorts, with that understanding, I don't know, I trusted you, and you really did give the right support. And I just found that I was able to open up and to share with you and the other girls in the course, because it was a safe environment and we all understood one another, and it really, really helped.
I mean, the dynamic of group support is quite extraordinary, isn't it? As well, it really was, because you were lifting each other up, but then you were seeing each other change before each other's eyes, weren't you? Because I see this all the time, because I work with women all the time, so I see these dramatic changes. But how much were you finding that you could see, even just in the first week, people changing visually, and this empowerment and strength they start off really cowed and scared and frightened, and then they start coming out like this? How did that make you feel when you see
it is amazing. Like I described with my own realizations of understanding where we're at, you could see it with the other women in the course, that they could see that, you could just see that it dawned on them what they were feeling and what they should be doing or what they felt like doing. And you could visibly see everyone just gaining confidence, more smiles, more vocal. Initially, people were more quiet, and towards the end, we're all racing to say something, to get a word in. So definitely everyone gained confidence.
Yeah, it was amazing how much you had, even though you were so different, you had so much in common. There was so much in common that makes you realize you're just not alone.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And how would you say that working together with me has impacted your life?
Oh, it's enormous. I find that in the past, I've been quite an anxious character and always a people pleaser. And so I found I would always speak to people and say what I thought they wanted to hear. Whereas now I sort of stand over myself and watch what I'm saying and watch myself, so that I will make sure that I'm being me and I'm saying what I want to say, and I don't jump in and talk for the sake of breaking silence. I'm quite, I think it's a bit of a game for me now to sit and just enjoy being quiet with someone and not say things and not people please. And yeah, I'm really making sure that I don't do that. That's one of my big mantras at the moment.
And yeah, because what I see that you really have stepped into that confident adult who's now choosing how you respond to the world, rather than before you were reacting to everything, and that led to a lot of insecurities and fears, and so do you find now that we've separated that insecure child inside you from the adult, and you've really, because a lot of women come to me, they're very lost, like you said, I'm lost, I don't know who I am anymore. And I think you probably said the same thing.
Oh, definitely.
Do you feel like you know who you are now, and that you can choose the life you want? And
yeah, I do. I do have my moments, but yes, most definitely. I know that I'm not afraid, that I'm not quite sure what's going to come next. I was a girl that always liked her ducks in a row and needed to know the plan and what was going to happen and when I'm going to retire and what's going to happen next and where we'll live. And now it's all up in the air, and
you're okay with it?
I'm okay with it, and I've been told to let it go to the universe, and it will be okay. So long as I'm okay, it will be okay. And that's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. And you were just, I've just lost my train of thought now. What was I just thinking? Hang on a second.
Letting it go.
No, it was before that. Oh, I can't think of what it was. That was really interesting, because a lot of women say this. What was it? I've gone blank on that.
Wasn't my people pleasing, it was after.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right. No, I know. But when, as you said, sometimes you feel, I'm not sure, I'm not great all the time. I'll say that again, start again. But what you're just picking up on, that, what you were just saying is you've come a long way, but you're still not perfect. You do have your days where it's difficult, but do you feel now that, whereas before that would have just thrown you back, something would trigger you, would have thrown you right back. You've now got the tools and you know what to do when you feel like that.
Oh, definitely. Viv, you've taught me to enjoy the silence and sit and observe my feelings, and all these skills that I think, okay, backpedal, well, don't have a meltdown. here are the steps. And it really does help. It really does help. And I'm not insecure for long. And that's definitely a skill, a very, very valuable skill that I've learned. I feel very clever.
What would you say? What would you say is the greatest insight that you've got from this?
The greatest insight for me is to be still. It's to be still and observe myself and my surroundings and my feelings. And I think that's the most exciting thing is for me. I think I've said it to you a few times, is just being still is amazing.
Because you used to be really frightened of that. I'm in my new house, I'm terrified. When I'm still, I start thinking alone. Then you start thinking, I'm never going to meet anyone as long as I live, and I'm going to be a lonely old spinster.
Yeah, exactly. And now I cherish my quiet. It's amazing. It really is.
What impact has that had on you in other ways, like with your children, at work? Has it impacted your life? It's not just about relationships, is it?
No. Oh, no, definitely not. No. I will be less reactionary with my children. I will, when there's any sign of conflict with my children now, I'll just mostly stay calm and walk away and say, I'll talk to you when we've calmed down, and revisit. And the children think it's really weird. Mum's changed, but they haven't said anything, but you can see them just think, oh, what's Mum doing? But
Mum's got some boundaries now.
Yeah. And
Mum's not a doormat anymore. Mum's not going to be taken advantage of anymore.
That's right. That's definitely
by anybody.
Right. But I tend to not get so worked up about things myself, because I think I would just spiral and panic and become very, very anxious. And my anxiety before all of this was quite high. And I think it's been very good for just staying calm and just managing at work, colleagues at work. I just always stay very level, even and calm. And there's no need to be not aggressive, but even over assertive. I can just
or the other way, or people pleasing.
Yeah, or people pleasing. That's right. No, I can just be professional and myself, and be proud of the work that I do as well. So it's very empowering, liberating.
Brilliant. Could you have imagined how empowered you feel now would happen in such a short time?
Definitely not. No, not possible. No, it's because it wasn't that long ago that I was desperately unhappy at work because there are a few very dominant bullying characters that I thought they were making my life miserable, and and at home my children were being overbearing, and my ex was trying to meddle, and it was all just too much. It was out of control, and my friends didn't want to hear my problems, and it was terrible. But I found that I just had to be me. I had to deal with my problems, and with your help, I was able to, step by step, go through it and address it myself without involving everyone else. And I think that was the only way to discover the way to surmount it all, and did it. Yeah, very
brilliant. I mean, you smile so much more, and you I mean, as I said, if anyone looked at you, they'd see a really beautiful, successful, confident woman, and it's just, I love it. It just makes me so happy. And there's a lot of women I talk to who are very scared of taking a step, and I understand it is quite a big step to look inside and face your fears. So what would you tell anyone who is unsure about coming to work with me and do my program?
Oh, you don't be unsure. It is so worth it, and you learn so much, and you realize why you ended up where you were and how to address it, and how wonderful it is, and how liberating and empowering it is to be in control of your life, and to, if you don't know the exact direction, you know that that direction's going to be okay anyway. And it's just so lovely to relax and be happy, and not be happy through every achievement, just to be happy and be still within yourself. It's so lovely.
Yeah, it is. And what do you think your life would have been like now had we not? I think I remember saying to you, I can promise you that if you put a date in the diary, did I say this to you? In a few months' time, that you will look back and say, oh my God, Viv, you're right. I'm me. I found me. I'm not frightened anymore. I'm smiling again. Did we do that, or am I imagining that?
We did. No, we did.
How did that date come? Because would you be able to
where's the date?
say now? So maybe it was only like a few months.
It must now.
By now. It must have come by now.
I said something like, I want to be in control, I would imagine would have been one of those. And I want to be happy, and I want to not think about, that's what it was, think about my failures and my ex and what went wrong, but be able to look forward and into the future and leave my past behind, and not feel so guilty about the past.
So would you say now that day's come?
It's work, yes. We're there. And it's success, most definitely.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's been such a joy to just go on this journey with you. And obviously it hasn't finished, because once you're in this community, little lovely, small but beautifully formed community, you're in there for life and lifting each other up. And I'm just so thankful that you put your trust in me and came on this journey. And I just hope that other women will see you and just think, I want a piece of that. Because honestly, if I could bottle you up and just show people it's worth getting over your fears to come and do this, then I would. And that's what I'm trying to do with this video.
No, well, I wouldn't hesitate. I'm just can't describe the difference and the joy that I feel in such a positive outlook that I have in my life now. So I definitely recommend the program, and don't hesitate.
And you're already now, you do have those plans. You are making those plans for your landscape garden. You're actually already onto those, aren't you? So you're already starting to create hit the goals that you were setting, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm able to make these plans and design my garden, and anything I do, there's no one to stop me. And it's such a joy that I'm in control. So, yeah.
Isn't it nice to be excited about your future? When before it was just so full of fear, and it's just so lovely, isn't it, to be so excited about your future?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what everyone deserves. So
yeah,
and that's what I want my children to know as well, that I want to be the role model that they need to be that same person and to have a positive outlook on their lives as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and would that be was that one of the biggest motivators for you?
Definitely, because I felt that I was, that it was because of my children that I left my abusive relationship. And then I realised how unhappy and how consumed I was with everything going wrong in my life, and overwhelmed and out of control. And I realised that I had to improve this for them so that they had a positive outlook.
I mean, this is the most important thing I say to women, is that leaving an abusive relationship is not the end of it all. It's the beginning. and very much the beginning of breaking that cycle so you don't pass it down to your children. Because these patterns that led you into an abusive relationship, after you leave it, are still there in you. And if you don't fix it, you'll either go into another abusive relationship, or you'll just have these self-limiting beliefs and patterns of behavior that sabotage your chances of happiness and what you found now. You would have probably sabotaged that through fear of not being able to do it. And then you have a sliding door moment where your kids could have had the sliding door where they had the insecure, fearful mum growing up, you know, not ever dating again or doing anything like, because they're too terrified of not trusting their judgment, or seeing the empowered mum coming out of this relationship saying, I'm going to take control of my life and I'm going to make it better so that I can show you by example. And you've already said that your kids have picked up on that.
Yes, they have. They have.
They're more respectful, and it's great. So it's sort of a ripple, isn't it? It just ripples out from you.
Yes, it does. And it's so simple. And I have in the past agonized, how do I improve this? What do I do? And then by addressing me, it all just sort of looks after itself. It's magic.
Yeah, and that's why I call it the power within you, because we spend our lives trying to fix everything else around us and say, you know, putting everyone else's needs first and suppressing our own, and we're just exhausted. You know, so no wonder you came to me exhausted, because you just spend your life, you know, caring about everybody else and not yourself. But what I'm showing you how to do is flip it the other way around. And once you find that power within you to change you, the rest, everything follows at work, in relationships, with your children. And I'm so glad that you found that. I really am. And you've been a real example to some of the other women who just come into the program, because they looked at you and said, I want to get to where Janine is getting. And I'm now already seeing them. They're now getting to there. And when they come out the other end and join you in the alumni group, you're going to see how much they've changed. And you'll be like, wow, it's incredible.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, Janine. I've just loved it so much. And I love that I can now call you a friend for life, which is just a real added bonus for me as well.
Oh, Viv, I can't begin to thank you enough for what you've done for me and my family. And I just feel that you have given me the power within me to move forward and to enjoy the rest of my life. And it's the best.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much. And I'll speak to you very, very soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.